Hey guys, welcome to the Actery Magic channel. I'm Steve, the Actery. Today we're going to be talking about a brand new commander, hot off the presses. But please stay to the end of the video because I've got a very cool infinite combo to show you at the end. Alright, let's talk about her. She is super sweet. It's Sefris of the Hidden Ways. The Hidden Ways. She's a 3-drop, 2/3 human wizard that says, or 1 black, 1 blue, 1 white. It says whenever 1 or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, venture into the dungeon. This ability triggers only once each turn. So it can trigger on your opponent's turns, and it doesn't have to come from your hand, and it doesn't have to come from the battlefield. It can even be milled into your graveyard from the library. It says create undead. Whenever you complete a dungeon, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So we're going to be pitching all of our creature cards to Sefris of the Hidden Ways, and then we're going to reanimate them with Sefris of the Hidden Ways. So cool. It's a really underrated mechanic. I love it. Let's talk about it. Honorable mentions today are Stitcher's Supplier. It's a 1-drop, 1/1. This is whenever it enters the battlefield or dies, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. So this can potentially venture us into the dungeon with Sefris on the turn it comes out, because we're looking at 3 cards. Additionally, whenever we block with Stitcher's Supplier, her death is going to trigger Sefris of the Hidden Ways. Then we're going to put more value into the graveyard for whenever we do go to reanimate with Sefris. So good. The next up, I thought of this one. This is Bottomless Pit. It's 2 black, 1 generic enchantment. During each player's upkeep, that player discards a card at random. But wait, Mr. Steven, this also hurts us. Yeah, we don't care. So if it hits our non-creature spells, we're not going to venture into the dungeon. But that's okay, because we're probably going to venture that turn anyway. And each time it goes around the table, it's stripping our opponents of random cards from their hand. It's not allowing our opponents to pick the cards that they pitch to the graveyard, which is pure upside for us. Every time Bottomless Pit comes out, it crushes souls. I kid you not, it's good. Next up, number 6 on our list, we are going to ramp in Esper. So Deranged Assistant is a 1 blue, 1 generic, 1/1 tap, mill a card, add a generic. What? Milliken is a 2 generic, tap, mill a card, add a generic, 0/1. I get to mill and I get to advance into the dungeon whenever I mill over a creature card in Sefris? Yes, absolutely. Okay, that's so good. Just mind blowing. Next up, certainly not original, but awesome, is Merfolk Looter. Okay, in my defense, you can't really find cards on EDH, cards that haven't made it their way onto EDH Rec whenever you go and build a deck for a commander. But I will do my best to make sure that I find something original every video. Merfolk Looter is a 1 blue, 1 generic, 1/1. It says tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Sweet. Let's discard that super expensive creature and let's draw something that's a little bit more budget. Speaking of which, discarding a creature, Wonder is a 4-drop, 2/2 flying, 1 blue, 3 generic. It says as long as Wonder is in your graveyard and you control an island, creatures you control have flying. Heck yeah! We're just going to pitch it with, Merfolk Looter. Or we're going to mill over it. It doesn't matter. We'll just let it sit there because now all of our stuff has flying. But it says as long as you control an island, which we're always going to control. But speaking of getting the lands we want, number 3 is a type of card. These are cycling cards, specifically the land cycling cards. Angel of Ruins is a 7-drop, 5 generic, 2 white, 5/7 flying. Whenever Angel of Ruins enters the battlefield, exile up to 2 artifacts and/or enchantments. They're just gone. They don't come back whenever Angel of Ruins leaves the battlefield. Plane cycling, 2 generic, discard this card, search your library for a Plains card. Any Plains card. Reveal it and put it in your hand. That means it doesn't have to be just a basic. The same applies for Jehessian Zombies, which has island cycling and swamp cycling. We can go get either an island or a swamp and put it in our hand. That means Watery Grave, Godless Shrine, Hallowed Fountain. All of those really great cards that are normally in our decks whenever we're playing Esper, these are now going to fetch them up. So good. And number 2 on our list, this card was like printed for Sefris. Auric Loremage. It's a 4-drop, 3/3, 2 black, 2 generic. It says tap. Search the library for a card. Put it in your graveyard, then shuffle. I'm sorry, what? If it's an instant or sorcery card, put a 1/1 counter on Oracle Loremage. We don't care about that. We can go get something with like flashback if we wanted to. But what we really care about is going and getting creatures from our library and put them in my graveyard. So now I can trigger Sefris, Venture Mechanic, on my opponent's turn, and then potentially reanimate that creature with Sefris, or any of my other reanimate spells that I happen to already include in my deck. What? And then number 1 on this list, it is a continuation of this awesomeness. That is Entomb. For 1 black, instant, search your library for a card, put that card in your graveyard, then shuffle your library. It doesn't have to be a creature card, but if we have Sefris, it's pure upside whenever we go find a creature card, put it in our graveyard, and if it happens to be the last venture into the dungeon, whenever we complete it, we can go Entomb, complete that dungeon, and then we can reanimate the creature we just found. Oh, yes, thank you very much. But let's talk about the infinite combo that you can put in the Sefris deck that doesn't have to be there and doesn't need Sefris to go off. And that is Rooftop Storm and Asarurak the Arclich. Rooftop Storm, if you're not familiar, is a 6-drop, 1 blue, 5 generic enchantment. Says you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost of creature spells you cast. Sweet. Asarurak is a zombie wizard, so we can cast it for free over and over again. When Asarurak the Arclich enters the battlefield, if you haven't completed Tome of Annihilation, and there's three dungeons, return Asarurak to its owner's hand and venture into the dungeon. So we're not going to complete Tomb of Annihilation if we can help it. We're going to complete one of the other 2. It says when Asarurak the Arclich attacks for each opponent, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token unless that player sacrifices a creature. We don't care about that part. We want to keep venturing into the dungeon forever and ever and ever again. We don't want to do it for infinite because you will kill yourself. And I'll show you why. So, if you're not familiar, in my opinion, the dungeon you're going to want to complete is Lost Mine of Phandelver. It's one of the 3 that's just, go look at the other ones. Anyway, the first one is Cave Entrance, Scry 1. We have Goblin Lair, Mine Tunnels, create a 1/1 Goblin token or create a treasure token. We have Storeroom, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, don't care. We have Fungi Cavern, target creature gets -4, -0 until the next turn. Again, don't care. Then Dark Pool, it says each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Yes! Temple of Dumathoin says draw a card. So this is the part that we can lose from, is if we draw ourselves out, we will die. So only do like 40 points of damage to your opponents. Be plenty. And get 40 treasure tokens and then cast everything. Now, we're gonna cast Rooftop Storm, then we're gonna cast Asarurak over and 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 over, and we're gonna get basically 40 or infinite Mine Tunnels. Create a treasure token. Then we're gonna get infinite Dark Pool activations, or each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And then we're gonna get infinite Temple of Dumathoin. Draw a card. So just be careful with going actual traditional infinite because you will kill yourself. But usually 40 damage is enough to kill your whole table. Just saying. And it does say each opponent. Pointing that out. So we get the infinite mana. We get the infinite face melting. Name that movie. It's a beautiful movie. Damn it. Just kidding. Alright guys. And then on top of it all, with all this face melting, all of this mana, all of these times through Lost Mine of Phandelver, we are going to get 50 copies of Create Undead whenever you complete a dungeon, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So at the end of the day, after all of this value that we've already gotten, what we're going to do is basically cast or reanimate all of the creatures from our graveyard and put them into play. So even if we can't kill them with our 40 activations of Lost Mine of Phandelver, we're going to get all of our creatures back, and we're just going to do stupid things to them. Anyway, guys, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. I love making these videos. Please comment. Leave me a note about what you liked, what you didn't like. I need it. I can use it to help bring you new content that you'll enjoy. Anyway, I love you guys. Have a good one. Deuces. So stupid.